Why do people join fandoms? Before the internet, being a fan usually meant liking something from a distance. Maybe you loved a band, a football club, a comic book, a movie, a game, a celebrity, or a strange little show nobody else in your school seemed to understand. You had the feeling, but not always the people. Then the internet changed the shape of fandom. Suddenly, one person quietly loving something could find thousands of other people who loved it just as intensely. They could share jokes, theories, art, arguments, edits, costumes, playlists, rankings, and tiny details that would sound ridiculous to anyone outside the group. From the outside, fandom can look excessive. Why would people spend hours discussing a fictional character? Why defend a team that keeps breaking your heart? Why learn every piece of lore, buy the merch, travel to the event, or cry when a stranger on a screen releases a new song? The easy answer is obsession, but that is too simple. Fandom works because it presses very old human buttons: belonging, identity, ritual, meaning, status, emotion, and shared imagination. So here are 8 reasons people join fandoms. And to be clear, this is not only about extreme fans. Most fandom is ordinary. It is the person who checks match highlights before work, the friend who knows every song on one album, the gamer who watches patch notes like weather reports, the movie fan who notices one background detail and needs someone else to care. Fandom begins when interest stops being private and becomes social. Reason 1. Fandom turns liking something into belonging. Humans are not built to enjoy everything alone. When you like something deeply, there is a small pressure to share it. You want someone else to laugh at the same scene, notice the same lyric, gasp at the same reveal, or understand why one tiny detail matters. Fandom gives that feeling a place to go. It says, you are not weird for caring this much. Other people care too. That is powerful, because belonging does not always require a serious topic. Sometimes belonging starts with a song, a character, a match, a book, a game, or a joke. The object of the fandom becomes a doorway. Through that doorway, people find conversation, friendship, and the relief of being understood without needing a long explanation. Reason 2. Fandom gives people an identity they can wear. Most of us are many things at once. We are students, workers, siblings, parents, friends, introverts, overthinkers, dreamers, and people trying to explain ourselves. A fandom offers a shortcut. It gives you a symbol, a color, a phrase, a shirt, a sticker, a profile picture, or a favorite character that says something about you before you say anything. This is not always shallow. People often choose fandoms that reflect the kind of person they want to be. A superhero fan may love courage. A cozy game fan may love gentleness. A sports fan may love loyalty. A fantasy fan may love escape and wonder. A pop star fan may love reinvention, confidence, or survival. Fandom lets identity become visible in a playful way. It turns taste into a tiny flag. Reason 3. Fandom makes stories feel bigger than stories. A story by itself has a beginning and an end. A fandom refuses to let the story stay contained. Fans extend it. They make theories, timelines, fan art, alternate endings, memes, edits, rankings, essays, and arguments about what everything means. This makes the original thing feel alive. The movie ends, but the conversation continues. The episode finishes, but the theory machine wakes up. The match is over, but the debate keeps moving. The album drops, but the lyrics become a puzzle. This is one reason fandom can feel so intense. Fans are not only consuming, they are participating. They take the official material and build a living world around it. The result is bigger than the product. It becomes a shared playground for imagination. Reason 4. Fandom creates rituals. Humans love rituals because rituals turn ordinary time into special time. A new trailer releases, a season finale drops, a concert date opens, a game update arrives, a derby match begins, a live stream countdown starts. People gather, refresh, react, dress up, post, scream, analyze, and remember where they were when it happened. This is not so different from older forms of group ritual. There is anticipation, there is a shared moment, there are symbols, there are repeated phrases, there are inside jokes, there is even a kind of calendar. Fandom gives people things to look forward to, and looking forward to something is underrated. It can brighten a boring week, give structure to free time, and make life feel less flat. Reason 5. Fandom offers safe intensity. Real life often asks us to be controlled. Do the work, pay the bill, answer politely, stay reasonable, do not care too loudly. Fandom creates a space where caring loudly is allowed. You can cheer, cry, dress dramatically, write a long theory, argue about a character arc, or celebrate a tiny teaser image like it is world news. The stakes are emotional, but usually safe. If your team loses, it hurts, but you survive. If your favorite character disappears, you are upset, but the danger is contained. If an album disappoints you, the feeling is real, but it is not a life emergency. That makes fandom a kind of emotional training ground. It lets people feel big feelings in a shared container. Reason 6. Fandom gives people status and mastery. Every fandom has hidden knowledge. There are rare facts, old interviews, deep lore, forgotten references, special editions, legendary performances, early memes, private jokes, and tiny details that separate new fans from veterans. Learning these details can feel rewarding. You are not just watching anymore. You know why that line matters. You know which version is rare. You know what happened behind the scenes. This creates a sense of mastery, and within the group, mastery can become status. The person who knows the history, explains the rules, identifies the reference, or finds the clue becomes useful. Fandom turns attention into expertise. For people who may not feel expert in other parts of life, that can be deeply satisfying. Reason 7. Fandom helps people survive loneliness. This is one of the quieter reasons. A fandom can be there when real life feels thin. It can fill an empty evening. It can give someone a group chat, a convention, a comment section, a watch party, or a reason to message another person. It can also create a one-sided bond with artists, athletes, creators, characters, or teams. That bond is not the same as a real friendship, but it can still feel emotionally meaningful. You hear the same voice during hard times. You return to the same story when life feels unstable. You watch the same team every week and feel connected to something larger than your own room. Fandom cannot replace real community, but for many people, it becomes a bridge toward it. It gives them an opening line. It lowers the difficulty of connection. Instead of starting with a blank room and the terrifying question of what to say, fandom gives people a shared object. You both already care about the same thing. That small overlap can be enough to start a friendship. Sometimes the fandom fades and the friendship stays. Reason 8. Fandom makes ordinary life feel enchanted. At its best, fandom adds a layer of magic to normal life. A train ride becomes a place to listen to the new album. A plain jacket becomes a costume piece. A cafe becomes a meetup spot. A shelf becomes a tiny museum. A character quote becomes a private reminder to keep going. This is why fandom can seem irrational from the outside and completely logical from the inside. The value is not only in the object, it is in the meaning wrapped around the object. Fandom lets people decorate reality with symbols, stories, and shared emotion. It makes the world feel less random and more charged with connections. Of course, fandom has a shadow side. Belonging can become pressure, loyalty can become bullying, debate can become harassment, identity can become a cage. Companies can exploit fans by selling scarcity, endless editions, and emotional access. Algorithms can reward the loudest, angriest, most obsessive voices. And sometimes the thing that once made someone feel connected starts making them anxious, defensive, or exhausted. That is when fandom stops feeling like a home and starts feeling like homework. The healthiest fandoms leave room for joy, disagreement, rest, and change. They let people love something without demanding that love become their entire personality. That distinction matters. Fandom is healthiest when it expands a life instead of shrinking it. It should give people more ways to connect, imagine, laugh, and feel. It becomes dangerous when it tells people there is only one correct way to belong. The same force that makes fandom warm can also make it controlling, so the question is not whether fandom is good or bad. The question is what kind of community it becomes. So why do people join fandoms? Because fandom is not only about the band, the team, the show, the game, the book, or the celebrity. It is about what happens around them. It is about finding your people. It is about turning taste into identity. It is about making stories bigger, creating rituals, feeling safe intensity, earning mastery, surviving loneliness, and adding a little enchantment to ordinary life. From the outside, a fandom can look like people caring too much, but from the inside, it often feels like proof that caring can connect you to the world. And maybe that's why fandom keeps spreading. Because humans do not just want entertainment. We want something to gather around. We want shared emotion. We want symbols. We want stories that keep going after the screen goes dark. And sometimes, when life feels too big or too lonely, a fandom gives the brain a simple message it has always wanted to hear. You are not the only one.